I'd like to say hello to those who will check this out during the replay and those who will check it out while it's live. I don't intend to speak for that long. We already did an hour and a half long stream today, and I'm kind of uh, worn out to a good extent. But I wanted to speak on something that I've noticed for quite some time, but has been irritating me more over the period of the last maybe, I'd say 3, 4, 5 months, just since late last year at the very least. So when I was speaking to this woman back in October and November and December, a little bit earlier into this year as well, um, she was very curious about getting on cameras and speaking in a through this type of format of seeing me physically, and kept pressuring me to take my glasses off, and then scoured on YouTube to see me without them. And she found this video, which I haven't made any good effort to try and hide uh, what I look like without them on. It's kind of simple. You can, these aren't dark shades. They don't not show my eyes, so it was bizarre. But she makes a point of mentioning that she turned the audio all the way down on this video, and it was one of the Trump administration videos I did last year. Where I was talking about him, or rather, what was going on in in his presidency for its first 100 days. Um, and as I sat here and was talking with another person, uh, this woman who's this calls herself a big time Obama supporter. Anytime you speak with her, she'll talk about how much she's has the hots for him, and yada yada yada. Um, I made mention of the fact that he continued Bush's surveillance state, which is something that a lot of people don't like. Um, the fact that his drone strikes were confirmed to kill 90% the wrong people. So a majority of the time when he was throwing out those bombs, they were striking individuals that were not the intended targets. The lack of action on the banks. There's plenty of things I mentioned, and she found herself not being able to defend against this. And I even asked her point blank at one point in an earlier conversation, "Do you agree with this notion um, of deciding to go and attack, just various policies I'd noted of his?" And she disagreed with it, but just kept insisting that this was someone that she liked, and that I had to accept that people had opinions which varied from mine. Which, I mean, I don't think I've ever not accepted that. It's actually been the reverse if you look at the comment section of much of my content. We have people who will get so upset because I'm not saying something that they believe or they personally find true. So when I was sitting here and responding back to her, she gets all angry. I said, "Look, uh, you can have an opinion, but you can't change facts. What I mentioned and brought up earlier, anyone can look up and discover for themselves is the truth." Uh, and after ending this call, I kind of said, that was kind of whatever, but I thought more about it, and I said to myself, if you cannot defend the actions of a person and can only find them appealing or attractive because you find them physically attractive, that's a problem. And then I thought more about the stream earlier today and how we were mentioning this idea of if someone finds that person's face appealing enough, they will overlook every single thing they stand for, everything they say, or if they do pay attention to it, it's not to where they try to make adjustments based off of their attraction to this. Um, and that's dangerous because imagine to yourself, what if you were, I don't know, a person of any religion, for example, and you look at Hitler and you get, you're a woman, you get horny. That's a problem. Um, we ask you point blank, you condone the murders of these various Jews, and you go, no, but oh, I love him, which is what this woman said of Obama. Um, when people exercise behaviors that are so far that border on genocide in many cases, as heads of state. All right, well, good night, envoy. Take a nap. I didn't mean to disrupt you with the boring stream. But when people exercise these behaviors and they choose to overlook a person's acts, they're effectively saying, "Hey, look, it doesn't matter what you do as long as this is good, we're all right." I even said to her, I don't care how horny Obama makes you feel. Um, it's still no reason to, because if someone says, you know what, this person was really disgusting for his acts, but they're attractive. Okay, fine, whatever. Uh, but you're saying that you love a person. Your entire reason for loving them is based off of this, and that should be seen as problematic by most people. Um, not even, let's take it beyond the standpoint of political things and people have executive power. Do you know how many serial killers are out there, or who have loads of female fans and groupies, who just because of this will condone the fact that they went and butchered up 5 or 6 people or more in the case of some of them? Isn't that disturbing to you? It is to me. Um, and I mentioned the other thing at the start of this because I wanted to point out that in the case of a lot of these, see, when you go on these websites, these dating websites, and just other places, they have this thing about, I want a man who's this, that, and the other. Or, as I mentioned in the stream earlier, they have an about me section and an about you section where they expect. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. The VVS, VVS, the Florida school shooter had mad groupies sending him things about they're his true love and they've discovered him and all that hoopla. But in the case of what I was mentioning here about this Florida, what I was mentioning about these websites, you'll have um, an about me section and an about you section, and they will have loads and loads of things there. But then when you go out into the real world and you see people who are in these relationships, and oh, both partners look so attractive, you're going to have to realize that a good chunk of those interactions and just quote unquote relationships are two people who said, this looks good on you, that looks good on you, let's perform the dirty. Okay, Manny is saying hello, what's going on, in all cap locks as if they're screaming at me. I don't know if you're, what, we're talking about something that is problematic, which is the idea that you can be almost given a pass for any dastardly act you do uh, based off of your appearance in the eyes of some. Obviously, the law won't care, but there are people who will give you exemptions because they find you physically attractive. And I've always noticed this with males relating to their interactions with women, but to see women do it and just, I mean, they get horny over a guy that was so bad in office, you can't even defend anything he did other than, Obamacare, just as an example. The Hitler thing is obviously much, much worse, but I'm saying that I've seen in these instances people will overlook what someone did because they want to have sex with that person. Say hello to Amino. And I was even in mentioning the thing with me and that other woman, the one that went to the video and was just watching without my voice or the volume. It creeped me out because I said to myself, well, that thing's not even what, 10 minutes long, 8 minutes long. This person watches 2-hour movies with frequency, and they can't sit through that. So I was bugged. Okay. Is anyone else gonna say anything, or are we good here? I love it when it's 6 people and then maybe 2 or 3 leave a comment. It makes you wonder who the other people are because they won't, or if they're bored or just sitting here to sit here. I get all curious. But yeah, it feels like a cycle that will never end. And I've tried to really um, cut out many of my reservations with how people look. Um, and I feel confident with that because I know I'm not backing, for example, Sanders because he looks like, I don't know, the guy down the street. It's over what he stands for. I can actually tell you what he's in favor of that I'm also in favor of. And that was something I thought was the case with, Trump supporters, whether you like it or not. A lot of them could list things he proposed during the campaign that were they were interested in. So it's just this game of where people can't seem to decipher between having a physical attraction to how someone looks and being physically attracted to that person. There's two different things. If I am working a 9 to 5 and I look this way and you find me attractive because of my ambition and goals and also my appearance, thrown in, that's fine. But if I'm out there slashing necks and cutting throats, um, and you say, "Oh, forget all of that because oh, he looks so nice," that's a problem. So does anyone else recognize this, or am I alone? I think I'm closer to being alone than being in unity with other people because uh, lack of comments. It's all cute until you kill a woman. Uh, yeah, Envoy. They have this love and passion for overlooking whatever bad and again, both genders do this, um, of overlooking what the person did or is in favor of. Well, Envoy, why would you find a criminal attractive? Because people look. There have been mugshots of women where I said, "Wow, she actually looks really good." I wouldn't bail her out or try to get to know her, so I can get stabbed and shot up too. So people just have this thing where a lot of both male and female, just they like the thrill of doing something that's wrong, of doing something that morally is just messed up, that society says that's a no-no. They get turned on by this thing of, you know, uh, being with the problem and immersing themselves in it. It's like people who find and attractive. That's crazy. Yeah, and the saddest thing is that those murderers and felons end up being the first ones to become parents or fathers because these women, get with them. And if the woman is a felon, she's definitely gonna get loads of guys. I mean, she could just walk down the street. Hey, I was in prison for 2 years for aiding and abetting. Oh, you're so attractive. Let's get together. That's how they roll. I mean, if I sat here and named all the story, we just had a story today about a woman who stabbed her daughter 70 times. I think it was Oklahoma. Thought could throw her hot grits. And hey, we had them before. And they say hello to Moonson or Monson, if however you pronounce that. All kind of people show up. I don't even know how to pronounce their names anymore. I just give up. I should just said M.A. or Armstrong or something. Because you get offended. That's not my name. I never want to see any of your stuff again. Yeah, I'm probably gonna cover that story more in depth tomorrow or Friday, depending on just. I want to do that one with the 10 children one. They're both pretty interesting, and you won't see any of these advocacy groups to have you get away with doing the to you because she was attractive. I don't know what bad stuff would mean. Have they done things to me I thought were messed up? Yeah, but to what extent? I've never had any of them try to uh, commit theft toward me or um, one of them I did feel was trying to play blackmail basically, but she was cut off very quickly after that. So I don't know to what extent what do you define as bad things. I guess we'll have to ask because I might think something's nasty, and then some defender of these women will come on and go, "Oh no, that's all right, that's okay, that's acceptable." So I'm not sure. So if I can get some further explanation. Yeah, but Mr. Armstrong, you didn't tell me what way you wanted to be referred to. So I can't mention you anymore. You're barred from discussion or being referred to by name. Seriously, no one's leaving a comment. I don't want people to watch this later on and go, "Why aren't you saying anything?" I would have called on her just to be. Yeah, man, you get the. I can already see the headlines right now. The comments. How dare you put someone that would speak with you such a bad fate. This is why you will be alone until the year 3000, whatever. So they they will they'll find some way of saying something about defending not calling anyone. I comment and you keep. I don't think I did. Let me see. You said sup, same here. Um, Because I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, please don't do what that woman did with the uh, here's my pictures. I don't respond for 6 minutes. I guess you want to talk to me more. It was fine while it lasted. So I'd rather not have a repeat of that. And on that note, I'm going to cut this off and thank everyone for participating. I will have something else up tomorrow. Uh, Hand's starting to hurt a little bit. So I'll see you later.